So we got the red truck, the 78 in the garage. Give you a quick rundown. I'll put the other video in the description below. But bought the truck out of Nevada. It's a 78 150. It had a 360 in it, but it ran like dog shit. So I pulled it out, and I noticed that the balancer was the incorrect one. It was set up for a 318. It didn't have the big cutout in it like the 360s do, so I don't know if somebody rebuilt it and then balanced the motor, but it ran like it wasn't balanced right. So that wipes your bearings out. So I pulled it, bought another 360 off a buddy, and I stuck a cam and stuff in this. So we're here now. Everything's hooked up, exhaust, transmission. I gotta wire the fans up and just do a little bit of wiring here and there. And then I recently decided that I'm gonna take my pre-runner stuff, because I have the short bed sides upstairs, which I'll show you later on. I'm gonna take the whole front clip and we're gonna put it on here. And don't worry, the 70 stuff is going upstairs. It's not going nowhere. So if I want to put the truck back to stock, I can. The bed is not a 70s. I'm probably going to end up selling this bed because I have no use for another 80s bed, and I'm not putting a nice clean 80s bed on my plow truck. So we'll just run bed sides. I'll probably grab another fiberglass tailgate from this place just to close it off. But that's the plans right now. So I want to get this thing running. Got the gas tank right here. I scored this for $100. Got a new filler neck and stuff, and a new sending unit. Plus the gas tank in this had a hole in it, and the gas was so varnished it would not have been fun. I also got the straps with it too. So I'm gonna worry about this after. I want to pull the bed off and give me better access to getting this thing on. Plus I want to clean it up a little bit more. So let's get wrenching on this. So this is a Champion radiator. I didn't buy it through them. I bought it through Jegs, and it comes with their fan kit and shroud and a relay kit. I forget what the CFM on the fans were. If they don't work out, we'll pull them off and we'll buy a set of spalls and be done with it. I should have probably just did that in the first place, but that's alright. So I gotta get a battery for this thing too, but for now we're gonna start just getting the wiring in place. And there is actually connectors there. I forgot, pigtails. So we'll get everything set up there, and then that'll complete the cooling system mechanically and electronically. And then we'll move on to the next thing, probably ignition. So before I got started on the fans, which I haven't started yet, I noticed that my ignition module wiring was wrapped around the steering column. I have no idea how that happened, but it ripped some wires. So I used a couple of these things. They're soldered connections with a heat gun, and I borrowed this from a buddy because I forgot to order some. So I fixed all that because it did go down to the starter relay. I'm probably not going to be using most of that for the ignition because I have the MSD ready to run. So I think I'm going to work on that first before the fans. I want to get this truck running. The coil, this little piece, adapter piece right here, turns it into a male adapter. This piece they did not make mold right. It does not fit in there. I had to machine the inside of this out so it fit in here good. So that was a pain. I think I probably deleted the video talking about it, but Anyways, so I think we're gonna work on the ignition first. So I want to hear this thing run. All right, we got the ignition like 99% wired in. I want to make sure that this way is gonna work. This would be this upper one here. The power for the keyed. Believe if you, which I just got 2 jumper wires for now. Just couldn't find my spade terminal, so I'm gonna put a bigger wire in between. But I'm gonna see if that'll work and give a full 12 volts. So I can't remember. It's been a while since I did this. And I took my coil wire, put it here. Get your coil wires going to the distributor with its own harness. So we're gonna just leave it like that for now. I got to get a vacuum line over to the distributor, and then started changing these terminals out. I like these way better than this clamped crap up here. So I got to get a couple more terminals, and I'll switch the negative side, but the negative ain't that bad. So I'll probably rob the battery out of my plow truck. I put oil in it. I use Mobile 5000 just because I stuck a used cam in it and stuff. I also added some zinc. Maybe it'll flatten the cam lobes, maybe it won't. I have no idea. Lifters weren't marked. I have a couple of friends that have just thrown shit together that was used and it was fine, so we'll see what happens. The distributor is a billet MSD. Should be pretty simple. You could wire it with a box, maybe later on I will, but right now I just want to keep it simple. So for in here, yeah, just wiring wise for the ignition is just figuring out that power, making sure that works, and I'll make a nice connection. And the fans I didn't even touch yet. And like I said, I got the fuel tank there. Still got to put that in and get the fuel pump and lines all hooked up there, but way closer. So the coil wire is not reliable. I tried jumping the ballast wires together and it's just not working. So eventually I'm going to take all those wires out. For now, I ran a wire over to the ignition module harness and found a power from over there. That works fine. This truck does run. We filled the radiator up last night. Can't really see the timing marks, so I gotta get in there with a pen or a paint pen and mark the line on the balancer itself. The accelerator pump housing's got a little bit of a leak in the gasket, so I gotta get one of those. But it fired right up. It sounds okay. It's not loud, but when you get on it, it sounds decent. So I gotta wire the fans up now, and then the headlights aren't working for some reason, and my dash lights and the gauges aren't working, so I gotta check a couple fuses and check out what's going on there. Blower motor don't work. I see it looks like the harness got nipped over here. So typical Dodge wiring, but it does run. So I'll get more of this done, and hopefully later this week we'll get the bed off and get the gas tank in the right way. I think we got the straps in backwards, so that'll be the next thing to go. Gotta put a catch tank for the coolant, which I have a couple upstairs. A Canton one's nice aluminum. We'll find a spot for it. And then I gotta check transmission fluid, and at some point before spring I gotta put one of my tranny coolers in here and wire that up with a fan. So it's looking pretty good though. We got the truck running. I didn't tidy up the wiring for the fans yet. I want to make sure that they kick on. I did a quick voltage test and I'm definitely overcharging at 18 volts on this thing, so we'll get into that later. But this has an amp gauge. Usually they fail. I've been doing some research on it, and 70s trucks in the very early 80s had problems with that gauge, I guess, failing and catching the thing on fire. But we'll mess with that after. So I'm waiting for the truck to get up to temperature, and we'll see the fans kick on. Fans are working. Got both of them on. My first issue, I forgot to put the relays in. I'm sitting here wondering what the hell's going on. It's my own fault. That also solved the issue of fans just kicked off. That solved the issue of the amp gauge running high, which is weird. I don't know. But I also forgot that I took a painless thermo switch, and they require it to ground and then use the other side to trigger the fans, while the one that came with this only had one prong off of it. So I don't know if that grounded itself, but I may take that out and put the other one in, get rid of the ground and see what happens. But it all works. Yeah, it's kind of hot. I did see a little bit of seepage around the water neck. I gave it a little tighten, but I guess that didn't work. I'm probably gonna have to put my nice billet neck on if it fits. I can't remember. But now the next thing I gotta tackle is that disgusting gas leak. I shouldn't even be running this like this, but I also been checking my transmission fluid back there. I got the timing gun back out. So tomorrow I'm gonna be picking up another gas tank, and we're gonna get rid of the stock one, and I think I'm gonna put it right in here. This thing dumps a lot of water out of the exhaust. I don't know, I probably have to warm it up and drive it. I've never seen that much before. It's a little ridiculous. But yeah, picking up a gas tank tomorrow from Tanks Inc. A buddy of mine has it. Go buy it off them. They actually have the correct sending unit, which I also got this sending unit working. But I'm gonna pull this tank, sell it. I'm going to my buddy's shop tomorrow. Also, I'm gonna pick up some Carvin, kind of like Dynamax race bullets, except for they're better. He's gonna make me some turn downs, and we're gonna get rid of all this shit, make this truck a lot bit louder, and hopefully bring that cam through, even though it's a little tiny baby cam, but seems to be pretty good. I'm gonna go back in here, temperature gauge nice and down. Alternator gauge is pretty much perfect. Oil level, or oil pressure, right at 40 pounds, perfect, or a little under 38. And then the sending unit is working, so sweet. Also had a issue with the alternator belt. I must have not paid attention and put it on the wrong rib, which it still looks a little off, but it's not squealing and ripping the belt apart. So, yep, fans are back on too. So, progress made.